Zombieland is a zombie horror movie. Well, in this movie, the zombie universe was started through contaminated hamburger meat, which is a first. So, we meet our young hero. The zombie apocalypse has been happening for a while, and basically, he's still alive because he has these rules. These rules that he lives by because he kinda has he's a scaredy cat, let's just say it. Well, on his way to go meet his parents in his hometown to make sure they're still alive, he runs into this other guy who's kinda like a hot-headed badass, and really at heart he's a sweetheart, a big softie, and yeah, they team up. Well, our hot-headed friend is actually obsessed with Twinkies, and on the way to their location, they decide to stop by this supermarket to find a Twinkie. But instead, they find these two ladies who, through some trickery, end up stealing their vehicle and weapons and leave them stranded to walk to their destination. But the two boys end up finding better weapons and a better vehicle, only to run back into these two ladies and to be tricked by them once again. But instead of leaving the guys stranded, they decide just to take the dudes with them because they're clearly idiots, and that's kind of how all four of them team up. Well, the young ladies want to go to this amusement park, so the young girl can kind of experience a childhood that she clearly will never get, and the whole movie is just them basically going to this amusement park. And at the amusement park, things get crazy, and that's basically the whole movie. So, my review for Zombieland. First off, we have to understand that first and foremost that this is a comedy and a zombie movie second. So, you weren't going to get into anything too crazy when it comes to the scariness. But for a comedy, the zombies were really well done. It was actually insanely good, and I liked it a lot. And the movie was pretty funny. There was a bunch of parts that I actually enjoyed with the comedy, which is really good. Now, because this is a comedy, you wasn't going to get nothing too crazy when it comes to production, like with the lighting. The practical effects were pretty good, and when they shot the guns, it looked realistic enough. So, I mean, all in all, that wasn't bad, but I want to review this more in the comedy sense, and for a comedy, it was pretty good. It definitely was a very strong combination of action, horror, and comedy. So, I mean, really, there's nothing too wrong with it. With a pretty strong cast, all in all, I enjoyed it. So, my recommendation for Zombieland, I'm going to just go with a recommended, as there's just other horror comedies that I would either highly recommend or are a must-see. And even though this was pretty good when it came to just the horror aspect of it, I do feel like it wasn't as funny as some of these other movies that I would name. I was kind of torn, because it is very high quality, but just when I'm like, okay, these are some of the highly recommended comedy horror movies, it's just not at that level. So a recommended is really good. I would definitely recommend watching Zombieland. It is thoroughly enjoyable. And that's about it. So, unfortunately, I hope it didn't bother anybody, but my cat has been on me this whole review, purring up a storm. So this is going to be, hopefully, the first and last review that I do where there's just purring in the background. I apologize, but it's adorable.